Well, good afternoon, folks. This is Dave from Dave's Raised Bed Garden. I got my hat on. It is hot out here. It says it's in the high 80s, which the heat index is probably about 95 or 93, somewhere around that variation. But I'm out here. I just wanted to show you what I'm doing. Every year is a little bit different. This year is much different than it was last year. Last year I had a very successful year. This year I've had a good year, but not like it was last year. And when the variation that I'm talking about is based on the weather, the heat, the humidity, a lot of problems with the insects and stuff. I didn't have the problem in the beginning, but in the past few weeks I've been having a lot of issues with it and everything. And so I've had to really work with it. I've got a tremendous harvest of tomatoes, my peppers, and then even my beans. But even at that, with the heat and everything, trying to know when to water it and when not to water it is based on because we're getting thunderstorms at times. It comes in and it's not a little, like a steady rain that we get a couple hours. It's when you get a total washout in just like 45 minutes to an hour, and it really puts a lot of moisture on your garden and everything. And a lot of times that can really hurt the root base. That's one of the things that I've had to issue with my squash and everything that I've had to deal with. I did get some squash, but not as much as last year. I did on my zucchini. My zucchini did very, very well in the beginning of the season, but in the later season, it didn't do as well. But please understand that when you're dealing with squash, when you're going to harvest, it's a very low harvest time, meaning that it's about 40 to 60 days. I can even right now replant some of the squash, which I may do. I'm actually if I do, I'm gonna pick up the ones that's already been as far as it's been germinated, and then the plants are ready to go, because when we say 40 to 60 days, that's the time after the plant has broken through the ground. If I put the seeds in there, then I have to account for the germination time, and then also for the allow it to get to the harvest. So I have to include that or add that to that for the harvest. So what I'm doing today is that I've come out here. It is warm, but I needed to get out here and do this. Is that I'm actually clearing out the old squash bed. I'm actually going to treat it, and I want to show you what I'm treating it with. This is what I've been doing before I replant and everything. I just want to be able to treat it a little bit to get the variation in there to kind of help it in what I'm doing. So I want to show you exactly what I'm doing. So this is the bed. This is actually the bed that I've cleaned the squash out and everything. I've turned the dirt over. You can see these two bags. That's the 7 dust granules, and then also I have the Dimetris earth. I found squash bugs and everything, so I'm going to treat that with the Dimetris earth. I want to go ahead and hit it. And I won't necessarily use this 7 dust because I like to do it after it's put on there. But I'm actually going to put it around my cucumber plants and a few other plants that I have in here to keep that. But this area I'm going to hit with the Dimetris earth, because remember, squash bugs are ecoskeleton. And I want to try to get rid of them because I did find some, and I've seen some in the dirt. So I want to go ahead and treat this area really good. You say, well, could I use the 7 dust? Yeah, I could, but I want to get the seeds in that I'm actually going to plant here in the next few weeks. So I don't want that to be a factor with that. And unless I do more research on it to make sure that I'm not going to have issue, because like I've said before, the 7 dust granules is you want to do it after the plant has been planted and everything, because the meaning is that you don't want to have to hinder with the bees and everything, your pollinators. So that's the main reason. But what I will be planting here is some of my cool weather plants. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do the cabbage or some broccoli or even some lettuce and everything that I'll be determining. I'm actually going to try to plant some beets this year. I actually want to see what they'll do. But real quickly, you can see how the weather has hit it. Those are my tomato vines you can see on the other side. You can see all them red tomatoes. Look at the very top up there. That's above that archway that I have that I'm using for my cucumbers and everything. I've actually got to put some stakes on it, and I'm going to let them grow taller. So meaning is I got tomatoes up there and they're starting to bend over, so I'm actually going to add that to it. And then over here where my beans, look how bushy that is now. With the cucamelons, I've got cucamelons all in there now. And then with the beans, I've had to harvest, and then also my peppers and everything. So, you're dealing with different things. You got to deal with the heat. You got to deal with a lot of aspects of what you're doing, especially at this time of the year, and being in August and everything. It's a really hot month. It's supposed to be one of the hottest months, but normally what we've seen this year is that we've seen it getting hotter earlier in the season. So my corn did not do what I thought it would do. I only got a very few ears, but I'm being proactive on what I did. The bed to the left, they're tall, but the ears of corn are extremely small. So what I want to do is that if I get a few ears off, which I have, and I've already put them up, that what I want to do is that I'm going to be taking the corn that is actually on here, and they're small. I'm actually going to be using it hopefully for two parts. Number one is I'm going to let it dry out. I have some family that has some chickens, and I'm going to let them give that to the chickens. The other thing that you can do with the corn is, if you let it dry it out, is that you can actually make tortillas, the corn tortilla type things. So that's another thing that you can do after you let the corn dry out. So there's different aspects, and you just got to think positive and think ahead what you want to try to do. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm not going to let this go to waste. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it somehow, whether to feed animals or livestock or anything, or to be able to give it away and then let them use it and everything. So that's what I try to do with my garden. I'm always thinking about what can I do if I can't use it. So that's one way to do it and look at it. So this is kind of just a view of around the garden. It's very warm out here, like I said today. I'm overly pleased by basically what I've been able to do. But I just wanted to share this with you. I got cucumbers I've got to pick. Some of them have really come off. It's amazing. The other day they were small, and now they're huge, just by all the rain that we've got and everything. But I wanted to show you exactly what I'm doing with the bed. I'm actually going to be starting for my fall season. Sharing with you and showed you, I've actually did 3 beds. I got them ready for the fall planting. I've actually treated them with diatomaceous earth, and also I've treated with some of my other beds with the 7 dust granules. I was getting those ready, and then what I'm going to be doing is the next few days is that after I've let this treatment and everything to try to get rid of these insects, that what I'll be doing is actually seeding. I'll be putting some seeds in there, and then also I'll be putting some plants in there in the few weeks and everything as far as the getting them ready. Now the reason I'll put the seeds now and not the plants is because it's still really hot, and while it's going through the germination point and everything with the seeds, I don't really have to worry about it until it breaks the ground and then cover it. And by that time, what will happen is that I'll be able to start planting some of the other plants that I'll be getting from some of the local garden centers that I use. And then what I'll do is I'll do that and put those in there. I actually did it last year, and I did very well by doing that. So I actually got it started earlier, and then the plants, and actually during my harvest time, I was able to get most of it at the same time or within a week or 2 of each other, and it just really helped me with harvesting and everything. And so that's what I'm going to be doing again this year, and I'll be sharing more videos about what I'm doing as far as the shade cloth, about the insect covers and everything that I use, and the hoops and everything, that what I do to be able to cover my cool weather plants. I'll be sharing that with you exactly like what I did last year, and then all the way up until I harvest the vegetables and everything. And I just thank you for being a part of Dave's Raised Bed Garden. And again, I ask you, hit the like button on my YouTube channel. That helps me along with my videos. And then also subscribe to my channel. What this will do is that anytime that I post a new video, you'll be notified about what I've put on there. And I do share a lot of the master gardeners that I use and everything. And I use them on my page, and also information and stuff. So I want to give that to you. But I thank you for being a part of Dave's Raised Bed Garden. I thank you for just tuning into my videos and to my YouTube channel. And I just thank you, and I just hope everybody has a great day and a great weekend. And until next time, this is Dave from Dave's Raised Bed Garden. Take care.